podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
There's so many fantastic stadia, and I think you make the best of any stadium you go to on a away day. I know, Greg, you've been to your fair share of absolutely crap ones. I know I've been to a couple where I've gone. Like Chesterfield's old ground. I mean, I've not been the new one. No disrespect to Chesterfield, but the old Saltergate was used to film when the Damned United was basically playing the part of the baseball ground in the Damned United. Which, to be fair, the baseball ground's an old stadium. So it was playing the old version of an old stadium from the 70s, and it was like, yeah, it was an absolute throwback. It was horrible.
I've been to the new one. The new one's actually quite nice. Yeah, because Sheffield United women played there last season. I went to watch Sunderland women against them. It is a really nice little stadium, to be fair.
The Chesterfield Stadium, the new one looks, well, the more modern one looks fantastic.
Yeah, it is a lovely little stadium, to be fair.
I'll have to go to that next year. Now we're in their division.
There you go.
Yeah. I'd be up for that, mate. I'd be well for that.
Okay. I'll sign you up, Jim. We've already agreed that we're going to Kidderminster away.
Is it bad though when Rochdale got relegated that the first thing I was doing was eyeing up away days I could do with you? Just like, they could be cheap, they're not going to sell out. I'll go to Kidderminster away with you. I'll swim away with you. I'll go back to Fylde. I quite like Fylde's ground. I'll do that. Just like, not commiseration to make just away days if I can afford it.
Well, this is it. It's like, I'm not enthralled for the home games, but I was thinking, York City away, I'll have that. Because me and Jim have done York City away. We went to watch York against Boston in the FA Vars. Is that right?
I've been York Boston in the FA Trophy, and I went to York Darlington in the National League.
With Chris Jackson.
Chris Jackson. Nil draw on Monday night. It was bloody crap.
But then you go out into York and get, blottoed.
We go out to York. You don't go. I think we said before. No one goes to York for the football.
No.
The York City game is an inconvenience amongst everything else in York.
It is actually.
I think their new ground's a little bit outside the city centre now.
It is,
They've got a new stadium where the rugby league team play as well. It does look nice though.
Yeah.
You can go to the National Athletics Arena in Gateshead.
Yes, that's going to be our division. Yeah, absolutely.
It's dead.
Is it? Is it really? Yeah.
When we went, it was an FA Trophy semi-final. It was a 0-0 draw, and it was a bit. I don't know. I mean, it's probably improved since then, but it was. I remember just being a massive running track and loads of empty seats, to be perfectly honest. But still,
pretty much still is.
It wasn't too far from the train. If I remember rightly, it was a nice little Tesco there. We got some beers from, and it wasn't that far from the train station. If I remember rightly, I don't really remember that well. It was a long time ago, and I had a few drinks, but we went out to Newcastle before and after, so I can't really remember too much more about it.
Brilliant. I've been to the Stadium of Light. Sorry, that just came to me when we were in the same division. When it was Rochdale Sunderland in the same division. Me and my dad went on away day, got the coach from Scotland straight up. My dad took his crossword book in the stadium with him. And he asked, I think he absolutely battered us Sunderland. I'm sure it was like 3 or 4-0 or 5-0 or something. Can't remember. So anyway, my dad's got the crossword in his coat pocket, and he just started doing his crosswords. And then he was asking policemen for a pen. I went, where are you going? He went, I've had enough. Like, I've just come to say I've been to Sunderland, and all this. Like, nice, lovely stadium, nice fans. But I'm ready for my crossword now. I'm just going to ask this copper for a pen. I went, all right then. I was like, okay, then he just left him for about 20 minutes looking for a pen.
I mean, you'd have brought your own pen if you thought that was going to happen.
You would.
Rookie error.
He forgot his pen, sorry. He forgot his pen. He forgot his pen. Yeah.
You just imagine the kind of horror, halfway through the bus trip, and they're thinking, crossword puzzle book.
Yeah. Where's my pen gone? Turn round.
Well, someone's time to get their pens out and go, lads, we don't need this today. We usually need to do our crosswords in home games, but
yeah. They'll be giving us the pens, yeah. Where's the furthest you gents have travelled for a Sunderland away game? Have you travelled quite southernly or?
I've been probably you're looking at probably Arsenal.
Wow.
I can't remember being. I don't think I've been Spurs, West Ham. I haven't been like Southern. I kind of think anywhere in the Championship where I went, where I'm like, where I've like kind of felt lost. So because I normally prefer. I'm normally, to be honest, I can't sit on a bus that long. We went to Swansea, and that is a fucking arse to get to.
Was it the old stadium?
No, it was a new one. It was
Right.
when we were in the Premier League.
The old stadium was horrible. The old stadium was like a cage with a field in the middle of it. Horrible.
Well,
Yeah,
it was, we were at the new one, which was alright, but it was a minging trip. I can't remember being anywhere South London. I went to Wimbledon. I went to Croft Park, original Croft Park, when I was about 5, in an FA Cup game, and we lost 2-1. I think Fashnu scored for them. Scored a hell of a header, actually. So that's probably, I would say, the furthest I've been.
Was that Power Lane Wimbledon? Is it?
Yeah. The original. Yeah, sorry, I said Croft Park. Now the original Plough Lane before they knocked it down. Before they moved to Selhurst.
Wow, right.
So in 94, 94, 93 or something. Then we lost, but never mind. That was probably my first away day, but I couldn't remember that. So, probably that's probably the furthest I've been. I think Gary, yours is probably Wembley, isn't it?
No, I don't think it's that, mate. I don't think I've been to any London stadiums, to be honest. I haven't, to be fair, I haven't really been to loads of away games, so I'm trying to think off the top of my head where it will be.
Don't say Preston.
You know what? It might be. How far is Barnsley?
No, Barnsley, West Yorkshire. Yeah.
All right. Accrington Stanley. I know that was about a half an hour drive from Preston when we went.
Yes.
You know what? I don't even know. I can't even think off the top of my head.
No. Yeah.
No, honestly, I don't think I'd answer that.
It's hard to work out distance, isn't it? I mean, I've only been to
fair enough.
When I had an away game, and that was Stoke. So I mean, that was a fun. Actually, it was a fun trip, but we actually won. But Tranmere wise, probably Harrogate. That was not that far, but when you've driven it to and from in a night after work on a Tuesday, that was a sadly bad idea.
I remember you going to that. What was the score for that, Jim?
2-2.
Oh, at least you got something.
When Rovers and Harrogate were up near the top of League 2 for some reason. God knows how.
Was that last season?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Literally went to work in my gear because when I was still teaching, I was teaching PE that day, so I made an excuse to wear my trackies. And then just literally got in the car from work, drove up, and horrible journey back. There was a problem with the motorway around Huddersfield, so I had to drive around Huddersfield. Got back at like 2 o'clock in the morning, went to work the next day. Never doing that again. That was not worth my time.
I did Newcastle away on a Tuesday night. That was from where I live. I used to live in Bury, so that's when we got him in the FA Cup. But they battered us 6-1, and then can't remember what time we got in, but they had to book the half day off the next day. It was just like,
I think any day going to Newcastle is a bit of a shit.
I mean, I think
it was actually.
Doesn't it take you 6 hours from the stadium to the away end at Newcastle?
There was a lift. Yeah, I think I've said this on an earlier episode. There was a lift.
You're literally in the gods, aren't you? I've seen enough photos to get there.
Me and my dad and his cousin Bill were waiting for the lift to go up.
Yeah.
It's like,
it is high,
it
is very, very high.
Yeah.
And if you've got vertigo, don't go to St James's Park, to be fair. Yeah. It is high.
Yeah.
I mean, we went, obviously, we had to travel, even though I lived in Newcastle at the time, and because they wouldn't let you, obviously travel into Newcastle, you had to travel from the Stadium of Light, so because they put like all the metros and all the buses on. So I literally lived in Newcastle, I had to travel to Sunderland to go back to Newcastle. We won, luckily we won. Then I had to get, obviously, the train back to Sunderland to go home in Newcastle. It was absolutely mad. Wow. But, it was a local derby and that, and like I say, we won, so it was,
well
worth the trip.
Take that. Yeah. Crikey. Jim, have you got any quiz questions for this episode?
I have got a quiz question.
Interesting. I've got one.
I accidentally have a quiz question.
Accidentally.
As in, I had this quiz question prepared for something, and then realised it's actually quite more topical now. Than by chance I realised I had it on my phone from literally
a couple of months ago. Yeah.
If I nicked it off a TV show that I saw, so if you've seen said TV show, then you're going to get this right. I can do it now if you want. I'll just see if I can find the answers.
Yeah.
Essentially, the question. Well, one answer is really obvious because it's, like I say, it's topical. But the quiz question is: there have been 9 football clubs that have played in each of England's top 5 divisions. Now, we know who one of them are because it's been very well documented. So far to Luton. Can you name the other 8? So they played from the top division, and they played in Division 2, 3, 4, and obviously the top of non-league. There's been 9, including Luton.
Is this before the Premier League or only Premier League onwards?
At any point, I mean, judging by some of these names on this list, this is pre-Premier League as well.
Right.
Is this including the conference? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's conference, well, League 2 or various iterations of the old Division 4, old Division 3, old Division 2, Division 1.
And we've got to get, there's 8 to get.
There's 8 to get. I've given you Luton because, let's face it, we all know Luton's one of the answers. So
there's Oldham Athletic.
Yeah.
Oldham is correct, yeah.
Liverpool?
Not Liverpool, no. They've never been in the non-league, I don't think. We can dream.
Also, through all leagues, right?
I'll tell you what. Tranmere.
Tranmere never been in the top flight.
Have they not? I'm surprised by that. I
thought
thought they might have done.
Close in the 90s in the playoffs, but never been in the top division ever. They've been obviously second division down to 5th division.
Oh, surprised.
Is Swansea one, Jim?
Swansea, no. I think we have mentioned a couple of these clubs. Today.
Oh, right, okay.
Colchester?
Who, sorry?
Colchester?
Colchester? No. Sorry.
I'm gonna. I think Charlton Athletic might be one.
Oh, that's a good shout.
I don't think they've been non-league. I don't think they've been. I don't know if they've been 4th division, but no.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, is that?
It's the non-league that's getting me. I'm thinking Lords in the top 4, but I kind of think of.
I know for sure that Ant's mentioned at least one of these clubs today.
Oh,
Scunthorpe.
Pardon?
Scunthorpe.
No, Scunthorpe not been top division.
Oh.
But there is a club you go, of course.
Right.
Hull?
Hull's not a bad shout.
Hull, yeah.
Hull's a good shout.
Hull City.
No, I don't think Hull have been non-league. Greg, aren't you regretting asking if I had a quiz question now?
I am, but I don't mind it.
Content.
I don't
mind. This is like the what was it? The Jermaine Easter quiz.
Oh, we did. We tried to name all the clubs that Jermaine Easter had played for our Easter special.
It
took about 27 years, didn't it? That.
I love that quiz.
That was funny. That. Yeah, it was funny.
David, Sheffield United. It was like the number one of football clubs.
Yeah, it was.
Random names of clubs.
Right. So we've got 2, have we?
We've got Luton and Oldham.
Notts County.
Notts County is correct.
Right. Notts County.
Blackpool.
No.
Sheffield United?
Who, sorry, mate?
Sheffield United?
Not Sheffield United. I think Sheffield United in the top 4, but not been in the... I know it's the non-league that gets you, innit?
Oh.
Gillingham?
Not Gillingham. I don't think Gillingham have been in the top division.
No. So there's one that... I think one that
you've literally said you've been to one of these grounds.
Wimbledon.
Wimbledon is correct.
Aha.
Famous Wimbledon, the first team to go from the non-league to the top flight.
Of course, because they went bust, didn't they?
Yeah. Gosh.
Everyone's on about Luton, and it's like, Wimbledon and another did it first from the non-league to the top flight. And the other side might surprise you.
There's another side, right? Okay.
It went from there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left to get, but one club went from non-league up to the top division rather than like bouncing round.
Oh.
Bournemouth.
Not Bournemouth, unfortunately. I don't think they've been non. They've not been non-league according to this list.
I'm gonna stab in the dark. York City.
Not York. They've not been in the top division, unfortunately.
Okay.
So you've got 4, 5 to get. One got promoted this weekend that isn't Luton.
Carlisle.
Wow.
I wouldn't have
They're
said
in the top division, I think, 1974, 75, I think.
Wow.
They won it from the second division. They played one division, one season with top flight in the 70s, which people forget.
Yeah,
Oxford as well, aren't they? I remember mentioning
Oxford
Oxford.
as well,
yeah, Oxford.
League winners in '86, but also National League participants. So that's Luton, Carlisle, Notts County, Wimbledon, Oxford, Oldham. So you've got 3 to get.
Anyone said Swindon?
That's a good shout.
Oh, that's good.
It's a good shout, but it's not quite right. No.
We've gone on Roy Walker on us there.
Right.
It's bad when he goes Roy Walker.
you know. Yeah, I'll give you a bit of a clue. Of these three teams, one got promoted. Well, of the three teams that are left, sorry, one got promoted this season and one got relegated this season.
Oh.
And there's another team that just didn't do much. They did okay.
Got relegated this season.
From which league?
Yeah.
Do you want to know which league?
Is one Northampton Town?
It's not Northampton. I think Northampton have been top division, but I don't think they've been non-league.
Yeah, I think they've been top flight. Yeah.
Right.
They've been top flight back in the 60s or 70s or something. Yeah.
So it's a team that's been relegated this year. That's interesting. Blackpool.
Not Blackpool. They've
No.
been non-league.
What am we?
Oh, that's tough. Interesting. So one of the answers is one of them has been relegated this season.
One's been relegated this season from one of the top four divisions. I'm not giving you which one, because that makes it easier. One's been promoted from Hartlepool.
Gary said Hartlepool.
No, they've not been top flight, unfortunately.
Never been top flight.
Never
been top flight.
Sorry? No. Right, okay. One got promoted from League. Okay, one got promoted from League 2 this season, and one went down from the Championship.
Oh right.
Wigan.
Wigan is the one people forget went from non-league to Premier League. Wigan have been literally from non-league in the 70s to Premier League, so Wigan is one of them. Yeah.
Leyton Orient possibly.
Leyton Orient is also correct. Leyton Orient has spent some time in the top division.
It can't be Stevenage, can it? Yeah.
Crikey, I can't. What year were they in the top flight? Well, you wouldn't know off the top of your head, would you?
Again, I think the 70s or the 60s or something. They only had a year or something.
Yeah.
Now the last one, I'll give it you, is tough because I don't think they've been in the top division since like the 30s or the 20s or something. But they've been a lot of non-league lately. But I've obviously done quite a solid finish in League 2 this season. Anyone want to hazard a guess? Probably a ground that I'm surprised no one said the ground's a bit of a dump if they've ever been. Not that I've ever been, but I've heard it's really cold and a bit of a dump.
See, I was thinking until you said 1930s, I was thinking potentially Bradford, but now with 1930s, I know Bradford were in the Premier League about 20 odd years ago.
You were, 2001, yeah.
I think I know, but I'll let Greg have a guess.
Oh, really?
I think you mentioning that the ground's quite cold. So I'll let Greg go first. But I think I've got it. I think I know it.
Swansea City.
It's not Swansea, mate. I don't think Swansea been non-league. I don't know, but
no, it's Grimsby.
It is Grimsby. Yeah, well done.
Grimsby. Right. Grimsby.
In the top flight, mate. I think it was like the 20s or the 30s or something. So to recap, we've had 9 clubs that have been in each top 5 divisions. They're Luton, Carlisle, Grimsby, Notts County, Wimbledon, the old version, Oxford, Leyton Orient, old and Wigan. So
that's going to take some hitting, Jimmy, isn't
it? That's for me tomorrow.
This time next year, the podcast might go out.
I know, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, you see, this is the problem. You ask us for a quiz question, and then I'm going to have some horrible question that no one's going to know the answers to.
This is it.
This is it. You don't want to have me ask quiz questions because they're always vile. Like, what was it one time when it was the top 5 questions, and it was right, which teams, the top 5 second division teams of all time, and the top performance side in the second division was Barnsley, and no one could get it. It was just
took us about 8 years, that one, didn't it?
It was like,
it came in and out of about 8 lockdowns on that one.
I think we had poor Joe from Albion Assessed on the Brighton fan. He's had a cracking season, by the way.
Yeah, we'll have to get Joe back on. I forgot about that.
We have to get a cracking guy. But he was like, this quiz is horrendous. Who wants to name the top 5 performing teams of the all-time second tier? Like, who the hell cares about, like, Barnsley, Leicester, and... It's like, who's going to get this? I'm like, exactly, I'm not going to make it nice for you. I'm going to make it shit.
I've got...
a horrible quizmaster.
I've got a Dale or no Dale, if you want me to do it, Jim, or have you got another quick question?
I'm always up for a bit of Dale.
Right, I'll explain.
Do you know the Dale or no Dale concept? I mean,
I can guess it.
Yeah, okay, so...
That's the real quiz.
There's a slight twist to this one. So basically, there's usually there is one player that's played for Rochdale and two that I've completely fabricated, and you have to guess which one is the real Dale player. So this one is, because I've run out of time this afternoon, these three players are real players, but I want you to guess which one of them played for Rochdale. So it's just a twist. But I'm going to go, it's a bit of a...
There's no fake names this time.
It's sort of like Family Fortunes, this one, because it's family members. So I'll get to this. So I'll go with it. But what we'll do is we'll go yeah. I'll go round one by one because I think Jimmy might get it. So I'll go with either Ant or Gary. You do? Okay. You might get it in this format.
Writing Dale on No Dale history. I always go with the one that sounds most like some horrible, snotty-looking left back, and it never is.
What was the one that you said that's got the typical Chris Eagles haircut from 2004?
Yeah, and I have visions of him with like Chris Eagles / Liam Lawrence 2004 hairstyle.
Well, you just completely...
And I just made it up. It wasn't even real. I thought I could have swore it was real.
So the fabricated player, you went off and gave him his own backstory, didn't you, and everything?
Yeah. This one looked like something, and he never
right.
Either. It's like Jesus Christ.
We'll go one by one. So I'll get Gary's answer first, then Ant's answer, then Jimmy's, because I think Jimmy might get it. I'm not sure. Okay. So in this particular Dale or No Dale, I'm looking for the relative that played for Rochdale AFC, and I'll give you the three answers, and you pick one of them. So was it Dennis Bergkamp's nephew, Roland Bergkamp? Did he play for Rochdale? Was it Andy Cole's son, Devante Cole? Did he play for Rochdale? Or was it Steve Bruce's son, Alex Bruce? Did he play for Rochdale? So which family of a famous uncle or dad, which one of those played for Rochdale? I can repeat them again if you want me to.
You know what, right? The most, like, I'm famous for going for stupidity, and the most stupid out of those names is Roland Bergkamp. So I'm going to go Roland Bergkamp. And I know he's going to be wrong.
I'm not saying anything. Are you going for Anthony? Do you want me to go for him again, or?
Right, I know that you've had a Devante, but Devante Rodney, wasn't it? So I'm not saying him. I'm not saying Devante Cole. I really want to go with Gary. I really fancy Roland Bergkamp to be like, oh, mint, we've got Bergkamp, and he's turned out to be really shit. So I'll go for him. I'll go for it because I can't remember Alex Bruce being there, because I'm following Alex Bruce's career.
Oh yes.
As we've followed Steve's career, because he likes to stick up for him on Twitter. Unless it was a very early law, and I can't remember him being there, but yeah, I'll probably be madly wrong now. So yeah, we'll go Roland Bergkamp.
Both going for Bergkamp. What about you, Jim? Do you want me to repeat them?
I think like as Ant says, the only player to ever sign Alex Bruce is Steve Bruce, and as Steve Bruce has never been Rochdale manager, ergo, I do not believe Alex Bruce has played for Rochdale, unless Steve Bruce was youth team coach at Rochdale at some point. Devante Cole, I know, was at Tranmere. That doesn't mean he wasn't at Rochdale. I just remember him at Tranmere, and he played yesterday for Barnsley in the League One playoff final.
Yes, he did play for Barnsley, didn't he? Yeah.
Andy Cole was in the crowd with Dean Windass. Not with Dean Windass, but Dean Windass was there. This is all stalling for me just to say I do remember Roland Bergkamp, I think, had trials or was on the books at Rochdale. And it was like, Rochdale signed Bergkamp, and it was like that Mike Bassett manager TV show where they signed the Dutch player. And I think I've made this reference before. They think they've signed the centre forward, and they've actually signed the crap goalkeeper in the video. Anyone remember that? No, just me.
I remember that.
What a show! I think it was Bergkamp, but
okay,
at least
so
I'm wrong with the other lads.
Yeah. Well, you're all correct. It was Roland Bergkamp. That was too easy, weren't it? That was way too easy.
I do think there's something in the back of my mind that I kind of knew I was right, if you know what I mean. I think
that was too easy.
Remember Stelling going on about it or something, a few years ago. Remember Stelling maybe mentioning it.
He wasn't. I think he. So according to Wikipedia, he only played 5 games.
And was he shite?
He wasn't very good, is all I'll say.
He was.
He wasn't
year
very
was
good.
that?
His dad, he was not. Yeah. Sorry, his uncle. His uncle, he was not. Yeah.
Just a quick regard.
Well, his daddy might have been actually. Then who knows? Yeah.
His dad might be better than him. Didn't even play football.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Just a quick one regarding signing the wrong player. Sunderland once did that in 99, 2000 or 2001 or something or other. Went to sign a Honduran international called Milton Nunez. He came, played a couple of reserve games, actually played a Premier League game. Turned out about 3 years later, when Peter Reid had left Sunderland, he did a few talk-ins and all that. Turned out that we went to sign the Honduran Premier League player, Milton Nunez, ended up getting the Honduran Division 3 Milton Nunez, and he was obviously shite.
Met the guy. I met the guy as well.
Oh, did you meet? Was he a nice fella, though?
He couldn't speak a word of English.
He
Oh, well.
He literally probably just didn't know where he was, you know what I mean?
Bless
Like, how
him.
was this happening to me? But he got
I've got-
Premier League
I've got-
football, to be fair.
I've got visions of like Juninho circa '96, just South American rocks up in Northeast, not having a clue what's going on, just like.
He definitely didn't have a clue what
Oh,
was going on. Like,
Wow.
I remember him from like
Wow.
Football Manager 2000 or
Southampton,
something.
Ali
Up
Dyer,
Sunderland.
George Weah's cousin.
George Weah's
Ali
cousin.
Dyer,
Yeah,
that's
that's
the greatest story.
No, Ali Dyer, yeah, George Weah's cousin. Apparently he was George
Yeah,
Weah's
he was
cousin, and Souness
George
signed
Weah's
Ali
cousin.
Dyer, and he lasted 8 minutes or something, didn't he?
Yeah,
We knew he was like
He
a
came
Sunday
on
League player,
for-
right?
I think he came on for like Omrod or someone for Southampton, or Southampton got an injury, and he ended up on the bench somehow. Even though I think even Matt Letitia, make of him what you will, had said I think he'd watched him in training, and obviously cracking footballer, he'd gone, I don't think this guy's quite up to our level, as in he's not very good at all. But somebody made the bench. How you managed to fool Graham Souness, who seems a fairly switched on guy. You know,
Yeah.
not always an amazing manager, but a solid enough manager. How you managed to hoodwink him into 30 odd minutes of Premier League action, where you'd done fuck all. And
Yeah.
he quickly got hooked off. Fun fact, he went on to play for Gateshead after that, didn't he? I think he did alright at Gateshead.
He did, yes.
But-
Yes, he
Ah.
did.
But
Never
again,
Gateshead, yeah.
Southampton Premier League,
Yeah.
Gateshead in what would have been a Northern Premier League or something.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there were like a couple of divisions below the conference. So I don't think he ever played at the National Athletics Arena. I think it was in an old stadium.
So it's
but,
one of those where he could play
yeah.
football. He wasn't like just like if it was like me turning up and playing in the Premier League. He could play football, just not at that level at all.
No, I mean, if anyone who was listening to this podcast and hasn't heard of this, I mean, it's quite famous in it now, the Ali Dyer kind of thing. But
Oh, yeah.
if anyone like kind of hasn't heard or wants to see it, it is on YouTube of the whole kind of minutes he had, and it is absolutely hilarious.
for comic effect, I
For
am
those who
actually
don't
going to
know
watch
about
that again.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch that tonight now.
Yeah.
it is really, really funny.
So did you meet him,
Will
Gary, at
Smith,
like the end
yeah.
awards ceremony, or?
No, so, and do you remember Chestertown? The Sunday League team,
I
Chestertown?
played for Chestertown, yes.
Aye. So, I don't know why I was there. I was there for something. I think I was just watching a game, a Sunday League game, and he was there, and he was there with Kevin Kilban. But, bless him, I mean, Kevin Kilban, obviously he got no crack from him because he couldn't speak a word of English. I don't even know why he was actually...
Kilban.
Is this Kilban or the other lad?
Well, both of them maybe, but no, I mean, it wasn't the most... it wasn't the greatest of experiences as far as, a fan experience goes. You have Kevin Kilban, probably couldn't understand him.
Damn that
And
Lancashire
then
twang
Milton-
of Kilban.
And then
No
Milton
one's ever
Nunez.
said that.
Funny like. But I know he couldn't speak a word of English. I don't think he knew what was going on, to be honest. Like, bless him. So
Oh.
yeah.
He must have thought he was a competition winner, wasn't he? Like, mid.
You've on a day
Yeah.
trip, yeah. Gosh. Oh.
Bless him.
Speaking of
His nickname was Tyson as well, actually. Milton Tyson Nunez.
Tyson Nunez.
Yeah,
Tyson
Tyson Nunez. Shite.
We're just gonna have an episode of shite players, aren't we? One day, I think.
Oh, I'd love it.
I'd like us to get involved in
How
that.
long have
Give
we
you a few
got?
of them. Yeah, exactly.
We got pre-season,
yeah.
Jim.
You've got Everton, Rochdale, and Sunderland represented here. You're going to have that's at least 5 episodes worth alone on each club.
Tranmere
Anything else?
with Deck. Get Tranmere
know,
with Deck
yeah.
as well.
I mean, Yeah, Dak could list a million shite Tranmere players, and that's just the current team.
Didn't we sell we sold George Donnelly to Tranmere, didn't we?
Oh, gorgeous George Donnelly. He was dreadful.
He was bloody rubbish.
I never forget the Tranmere tweet. There's a striker in the building, and everyone's like, "Oh, we need a striker," but it was 30 grand or something on this fella who played like 10 games for you, not scored. It's like, why have you spent legal tender on this Rochdale reserve centre forward? This is dreadful.
Akpro was another one.
John Louis Akpro was all right. He was all right.
All right, okay.
Yeah,
he was okay for us.
You were all right. Okay, I mean, to say it was all right is not, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, speaking of...
if we've sold you any duffs, I can only remember, recently, I only remember Josh Hawkes, and he's actually all right.
Josh Hawkes was decent. I like Josh Hawkes. I think I was stood...
anyone who we've sold, down the years.
His dad at Harrogate away when he got injured. His dad seems a nice bloke. I don't know if it was his dad. It sounded like it was.
Yeah, no, he was a decent lad, actually, to be fair to him.
Yeah, he's a top bloke.
Well. Yeah.
I can't think of many.
No. I'm sure there will be some.
There's bound to be. I mean, the one that comes to mind going the other way is Sean Thornton. Who I don't know what he was like for you, but there was a bit of controversy amongst Tranmere fans around that whole deal. I seem to remember something about that, about 2004 time, but...
He did all right, to be fair, and then just kind of fell off a cliff, I think he had a lot of personal issues, didn't he? Obviously, the drinking culture and everything like that. Hell of a rapper, mind, to be fair to him. Great rapper, but... He did all right, though, but no. He was...
Didn't McAteer
No, I think he was meant to be on... What's that, sorry?
Didn't Jason McAteer come the other way around that same time? He went from Sunderland to Tranmere. Because you had McAteer, didn't you? And I'm sure he ended up at Rovers for a couple of years before retiring.
I'll have a look.
Anyway.
Have a look at that.
Sure he did.
Yeah,
crossovers of players that have just had these mad little careers. Can I just point out, by the way, while we're on careers, Greg, big thank you to everyone who got in touch with the tweet we put up on Twitter, because that's where you tweet, about the strange careers thing. There were some unusual ones on there, shout out to the guy, by the way. I won't say his name on Twitter because one, I can't remember it, and two, I think it's unfair. Who just replied with, "I'll keep my data, thanks," as if we were going to fraud him. By knowing.
That's all.
By knowing.
Can I retweet that now?
I'm not going to respond to him because I'm not going to rise to it. But it was really funny because someone's like, "Oh yeah, the club where I was nearest, I was born as this one, and I got to move to the club where I was last week at holiday, which is this club, and then." My age is this. No, we didn't say what age. No, the club that ranked the age correlated in the World Football Index rankings, and then I'm wearing like a blue T-shirt, so I end up at Chelsea or Man City or whatever. This guy, I'll keep my data, thanks. Right, because we really are going to get your information, your bank details from roughly where you were born, where you last went on holiday.
I can't find that tweet. I saw it though. I'll laugh my head off when I saw that.
I'm not going to be bothered to research how old you are and the colour T-shirt you're wearing. No, I'm not. I've got better things to do in my life, to be honest, than defraud people on the T-shirt colours.
Please get him on as a guest, please.
No, because I think
I'll find that tweet.
No, please don't. As in, don't make a fuss of it, because he'll probably freak out and call the police on us or something. But it was just in amongst everyone else, like, because it got loads of responses. I was made up because I just literally sat there thinking of it, like, that's a fun idea, and it was just that. And I was like, that's quite funny. He thinks I'm going to try and defraud him and steal his identity based on his or in the fact he visited Barcelona in 2003 or something. I don't care. I've got better things to do in my life. But
did you see how many people? Yeah, go on.
Go on.
Do you see how many people viewed that tweet, Jim?
No. You know what? No, I don't bother checking these things.
It says if you click on that tweet, it says 21.5 thousand people.
Oh wow, that's viral. That.
Hang on, where is it?
That's who viewed it. Yeah.
That's mental. That's mental.
Well, if everyone who saw that tweet could download this podcast and give us all a quiz
and download What a Ball Ache podcast as well.
Download What a Ball Ache podcast. Where can we find you?
Gary.
And you,
He's got to hide him.
Gary, we find our podcast. Like, we don't know.
That's what
I've got a fucking
Shit.
clue.
That's brilliant.
Brilliant. Gary, you tell him, because I'll keep me data, thanks.
Too busy data harvesting, Jim. I've got to call him like data harvest Jim in my phone book now.
Get your secret.
Done 70 episodes, he doesn't even know where the podcast is. Spotify, Apple Music, Google. Obviously, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Want to do some work with YouTube, but to be quite honest at the moment, just don't have time to.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we will try and branch out a bit. You'll find us on Sports Social Podcasts. That's our platform for our pod. Pretty much wherever you can find your podcasts, really.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I do know about like where you can find us, I know we're like kind of bookmarked under American football on Spotify.
Kind of changes.
So, God forbid anyone who likes American football listens to two lads from the northeast talking about stuff like that, because we really do not know anything about American football, to be fair.
The funniest thing about
How's that happened?
The thing was, though, before we joined Sports Social, our biggest kind of fan base was in America, and you can't get the Sports Social podcast network in America, so we've lost about 20 odd views.
I bet that's what's happened to us.
I don't even know. Honestly, you pointed that out, and like a year ago, right? And I literally looked into Spotify. I even looked into Apple to see where this tag was actually coming from, and I can't find it.
Wow.
I don't know where it is. I don't know how to resolve it. I think it's going to get to the point where I'm going to have to contact Spotify and be like, "Can you take this away, please?" Because I don't know what it is.
It could have been a lot worse, but never mind.
Could have been like darts or something. I don't know.
Funny, but yeah. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Before we wrap up, gents, I'd quite like to get your baller and ball ache for the season, if you wish. I know it's something you do on your podcast regularly.
Yes.
Where'd you found that from? You got that idea
again?
Don't steal me data.
I'll keep my data, thanks.
Yeah. I'll keep my opinions, thanks.
Baller's obviously got to be Ireland, hasn't it? As much as boring as it sounds, it's got to be on it. Ball aches, obviously, just anyone associated in Chelsea Football Club. From, the start, I can't even remember who was manager at the start of the season now, but Graham Potter, Frank Lampard, Bowley, who literally does not have a clue how to run a football club. They've had such a horrible season. And obviously, I'd like to give another, kind of, I doubt he's not a sportsman, but, honourable mention to, obviously, lads, we're all massive football fans. The brilliant Jeff Stelling who called time on his Sky career. I mean, like, if you've not seen that montage, it's brilliant. Just, we grew up, I remember just, sitting down front of the screen watching that for years on end. And for him to, kind of call time on it. I think it's a sad thing, but, good luck to whoever does that, because it's a bloody difficult job to fill.
Yeah.
But yeah, Haaland and Chelsea for Ball and Ball 8, mate.
Yeah, I mean, going off the back of that, I mean, we have spoke a couple of times on our podcast about who my ball 8 of the year would be, and that is, Todd Bowley. Not necessarily Chelsea, but Todd Bowley. Just the guy doesn't have a clue about football. Thomas Tuchel tried to teach him about football. Obviously, didn't like it because he wanted to play the 4-3-3 because he's been playing a bit too much Football Manager, and like he just doesn't have a clue. You've got players like Enzo Fernandez who were playing European football. He's not going to be playing that next season. The amount of players they've signed, it just clearly hasn't worked. So for me, it's definitely Todd Bowley as a ball ache. Baller, you've got to go with Haaland, I suppose, for what he's actually done. But like, I think you need to give a mention to a player who goes under the radar maybe in this instance and shouldn't do, because we just had this discussion a few weeks ago again, and like, I can't name a better midfielder than Kevin De Bruyne. Like, I really can't. And Kevin De Bruyne for this season hasn't really, he hasn't had to go up to fifth gear. He's been that good, sitting a little bit deeper, that like, the way he's played is just kind of spearheaded the way, Man City have played. And for me, probably, if I'm not saying Haaland, I'm saying De Bruyne personally.
Yeah, fair play.
Have you got one, Jim?
Nice one. I was going to say, Greg, I'll let you go with yours if you've got a baller and a ball ache. I can imagine what your ball ache might be, but
Yeah, Rochdale Football Club is the ball ache. Yeah, about 8 different subplots to why we got relegated. So, that's enough. Probably mentioned those on the past 3 or 4 episodes. But yeah, that Rochdale Football Club going into non-league for the first time in 103 years. That's the ball ache. Baller. Wow. I'm going to go slightly different. I've respected what Brighton have done this season. I could have gone obvious with Man City, but I think Brighton, they've nearly beaten every big name almost, or they've took points off nearly every big team in the Premier League. I'm not too sure about Man City thinking about it, but I do know they've done well against Chelsea and Spurs, Arsenal, Man United. So they've took points off Man City, haven't they? I think they've took points off everyone that's a name in the Premier League somewhat. So it's admirable. Obviously, I could have gone with Man City and Haaland and De Bruyne. I'll go for Brighton. I think in terms of we're always talking about Brighton, aren't we, Jim? On some of these episodes, one way or another, we always turn our direction to them. But it really is admirable. And was it this season? Because it seems like a very long season. But the Graham Potter left this season, didn't he? Was it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. That seems like a long time ago. So even about to come back from that, really, because they were doing quite okay with him anyway, okay-ish, and then to do even better without him with another manager, you couldn't make it up, really. It's fairy tale stuff. Sorry, Jim, what were you going to say? Hello. I thought you were going to say something.
Enough, and I got myself a bit confused in between him getting the Chelsea and the Brighton job. When you said left, I thought he was appointed this season, then I realised he's actually left 2 jobs this season. I got myself mixed up. Apologies.
Oh yeah, of course.
You've got to remember as well with Brighton that they've had a massive handicap this season of having Jason Steele in goal for the majority of it. So fair play to them. He's ex-Sunderland, by the way, and was absolutely freaking hopeless.
Right.
So,
gosh.
Netflix documentaries are available on how bad Jason Steele was at this football club.
Wow. Gosh.
There's also highlighted Brighton 1, Everton 5 that will highlight how bad Jason Steele is.
Yes.
Beautiful. Just chef's kiss. I mean, I did love the interview, I think, before the games of Brighton fan. Oh, we should beat these today. They're rubbish. We're really good. And we've got Jason Steele in goal. He's class. He'll do really well. Stepping in for Robert Sanchez. I think it was Robert Sanchez. And it was like, yeah mate, Dwight McNeil scored a hat-trick past you. You weren't very good. How did we score 5? We only scored 30-odd goals all season. How did we score 5 in one game? Guess what my ball ache's going to be? But yeah, no, my baller, I'm torn between 2. I think a lot's been said about Napoli this season, with them romping Serie A. What a season for them. Even when you factor in Juventus' points deduction and then reallocation and then re-points deduction, they were never going to get near the title. Napoli been phenomenal. But my baller is, and this is a bit of an odd one because he's not actually a player. Well, he was. Is Steven Schumacher, Plymouth manager. Now, you look at that League One table at the start of the season. Plymouth did well, but they just about missed out on playoffs last season. You've taken the job on from Ryan Lowe. How often do assistants go with their manager normally? He's taken the job on full-time as the manager. And to go into a league where you've got the budget of Ipswich, the budget of Sheffield Wednesday, the budget of Derby County, Bolton Wanderers, Portsmouth. I hope this isn't disrespectful to say all bigger clubs than Plymouth, really. You would not have given Plymouth and their budget much of a chance of going up, but to go up as champions with 100 plus points ahead of your Ipswich, Sheffield Wednesday, I think that is a remarkable achievement, considering what Plymouth are, and I think he'll keep looking. I think none of the sides that have gone up from League One this season will go down next season. I'm calling that early on. I think they'll all be of good enough quality to stay up, if not some of a playoff push, but remains to be seen on that one. So Steven Schumacher and Plymouth Argyle have had a fantastic season in League One. My ball ache, I don't think it's a shock to you that watching Everton this season's been possibly the worst season. It is actually the worst season in our history. 36 points, 36 goals in 38 games, the lowest of any team to score in the Premier League in what has been a record goal scoring season across the league in general. It's not good enough. And talking about signing the wrong players, I think Everton have been mistakenly signed the wrong players for the last decade, because, in all seriousness, nothing on that pitch has resembled what we know. And when you hear that Leicester City could potentially lose 2/3 of their income over the summer because of players leaving, because they're just getting relegated, their wages, all that, to be that flying that close to the drain financially with a new steam on the horizon, it's going to kill the club as we know it, and that can't continue. And I say this for Everton, but it's the case for, like yourselves with Sunderland. I know, Greg, with Rochdale, you've had similar concerns this season. We need to get clueless shite owners out of football. There needs to be a fit and proper vetting service where your Todd Bowleys don't think they're playing Moneyball, where owners aren't bleeding clubs dry and selling off the land, and so on. And I just think, as much as money has been spent in the past, it has been spent poorly. It has been spent on players who'd been like agents and mates and stuff like that, and it's not enough anymore. Bill Kenwright, you can't hang on to the club. Fard Mashiri, you can't hang on to the club. It's time to go. It's time to step aside respectfully and give it to someone who knows how to run a football club. And I would say that to any football club in the country being run poorly right now, not just ourselves.
Just to go on the back of that, Jimmy, you're talking to two lads who've been through it. Like we was flirting with relegation for 6 seasons, and eventually it came to us, and we dropped 2. We spent 4 seasons in League One. We're just now. I mean, we mentioned, like, at the start of this podcast. I know we started recording a long time ago now, but we mentioned at the start of this podcast, we finally got our club back together. But that's probably taken the last 6. You're probably even looking at the last 2 or 3 years that we were in the Premier League. It's been 10 years of just endless crap, and players who haven't deserved to wear the shirt, haven't deserved to have that badge on their chest. You know what I mean? And you've seen it happen with so many teams now, and you've really got to be careful, especially in the Premier League now with all that money that's in there. The teams that are dropping at the minute are going to struggle, unless they've got a good academy, or they spend the parachute money wisely. I think if Everton had gone down this season, I would have feared for that long term future of that football club, because the amount of players that would have left, and who's left after that, because players come and go, managers come and go. It's the fans that are left. You know what I mean? Obviously, me and Gary, we're kind of coming along the other side now. Look at Greg there, whose team's gone out the Football League altogether. It's absolutely fucking horrible. But it's got to be something now where the FA gets a grip of this, where owners need to be more savvy about what they're getting into. We can't have these owners that you've hit the nail on the head massively. You can't have these owners who can barely, they probably couldn't name you 10 Premier League players, but are allowed to run a football club. It's absolutely wrong. So yeah, I really hope he's, and I'm not just saying this because you've had us on our podcast and stuff like that, but I really hope you do sort out, because Everton are a proper football club. A proper team with proper fans. A real football club. And what's happened there in the last 2 or 3 years, what I've seen, has been shambolic, and it you just don't deserve it, to be honest. Sorry, I went on a freaking tangent there. I'm not even an Everton fan.
That's fine. And just on that, I think we all accept, and we wouldn't wish anything different, that relegation's part and parcel of football, as much as promotion. It happens, and it can happen, but you would rather it be on the merit of the fact that your club's been run as best as it can. And I think in the modern era, the disparity financially between the Premier League and the Championship, and I would argue possibly between the League Two and the National League, has created it such that fear of dropping is far more than it ever was. It feels more and more like you're dropping into potential abyss, which you can come back from. Proof is there. Obviously, I hope Rochdale can bounce back next season. I hope that obviously Sunderland, you guys, sorry, the dog's just walked in. Hope Sunderland can bounce back up into the Premier League next season. He's just made a noise. All right, mate. But the fear is obviously with us that we've been in this division for 70 years. There's generation upon generation upon generation of supporters that have never known anything different. Now you can say in one hand, oh, you're entitled, you've had all that success for all those decades and all that, and other fans would give one season, you've had 70, accept your lot and go down for you, you've had your time. Well, I get that argument, but I think when you become so accustomed to something that your literal future depends on it, new stadium, potential financial issues with meeting regulations, all that kind of stuff, it's a mess. And Sean Dyche has come out rightfully pointing out a lot of work needs to be done, and I think that is the case for us, and I think that is the case for a lot of clubs up and down the country that are ran horrifically. And this summer we are going to see, and it can be done. Brighton, Brentford, Bournemouth, Luton, all examples of clubs that have risen the ranks. They are good, feel-good stories. Brighton, particularly this season, getting into Europe for the first time, is a fantastic story. It's proof and a sense of almost frustration to every other fan of every other club that if they can do it, why can't we?
Yeah.
So, there we are.
Okay, Jim, are you ready to wrap up the episode?
Indeed, unless anyone's got anything else to contribute.
No, spot on.
No,
Cheers
no,
for having us
you
on
drop-
again, guys. You know, and all the best for,
You'd rather
for
keep
the
your
rest
data.
of.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd rather keep all data. Well, cheers for having us on, guys, and you know whoever I say whoever's listening to this, but everyone who kind of listens to our podcast and these guys' podcasts, download us both. Download as many podcasts as football podcasts that you can, because you know we're just doing this for the laughs. You know what I mean? And it means a lot. I'm sure you'll say the same. It means a lot. Whatever kind of whatever you get, publicity you get, it's lovely in it. So it's,
we all stick out.
We all downloading, guys, and keep on following and do what you can.
Absolutely.
We all seem to look out for each other, don't we? Our pod and theirs, and we've got the Brighton pod. We we retweet and get them out there, and it seems like sort of like a community, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's just been one talk football, talk sport. So no plug for actual talk sport there, but we just want to talk sport and just put our opinions out there and just see who listens really, and who maybe agrees or even disagrees. At the end of the day, any disagreement can be healthy. Like we just want to talk football, talk sport. So yeah,
absolutely.
Right, nice one. So go on, sorry.
Just really appreciate you having us on again as well.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
No problem. Absolutely. No problem. No problem.
It's Only a Game and What a Ball Like are both members of the Sports Social Network. I've got that right, haven't I?
Yes, we are. They are. Because I asked them about it.
Sports Social Network now. I thought I'd wrap it 2 into 1. So It's Only a Game and What a Ball Like are both members of the Sports Social Network. Please follow, like, rate, download both It's Only a Game and What a Ball Like, and whatever the podcast you like. But make sure you please download, don't stream. Download, don't stream. Download, please download. For the love of God, download.
How is these about downloads? I don't know why. I don't know.
Because that way it gets it's stat padding. It's like Ronaldo in the Saudi League, it's stat padding. But anyway, right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening to this today. If you've got this far, congratulations and I applaud you. Take care, and remember, whether your team's had a good season, bad season, no different season, it's only a game. Take care, everyone.
Take care. Thanks for joining us, Gary and Anne. Take care.
Thank you.